Hi, I'm Shalev Amar with your Lemon Law Advocates. In today's video, we're going to talk about why you should always ask a lemon law firm or attorney whether they actually litigate cases in court, including going to trial if necessary. Before we get into why you should always ask that, a little bit about my background. Been handling lemon law cases since all the way back in 2004. Thousands of cases at this point. Over the years, I've learned some things, and that's what these videos are about, to help you avoid common pitfalls that may arise with lemon law or breach of warranty claims. So let's get into today's topic. Why should you always ask a lemon law firm or attorney that you're dealing with whether they litigate, whether they file lawsuits? Here's why. Even though most firms will tell you, hey, look, we're going to try and settle your case out of court at first, trying to avoid for you the expense and delay of formal litigation. Although that's correct, although there's opportunities to settle out of court, what they're not telling you oftentimes is that they only handle cases out of court. Here's the problem with that. Do you think the motor vehicle manufacturers or the RV manufacturers or the motorcycle manufacturers that these law firms deal with don't know that that particular firm or this particular attorney will not sue them no matter what they do, even if they reject a legitimate claim, even if they make an unreasonable lowball offer and they're unwilling to negotiate and make it higher, make the offer reasonable? Of course they know this. So do you think that these companies are going to make a good offer or a bad offer typically, knowing this about those law firms and those attorneys? Look, once in a while they might make a decent offer, but if it's like a typical case where there might be some gray areas, do you think they'll make a reasonable offer? Probably not, because what do they have to lose? They know that if they make a bad offer or no offer, they're not going to get sued. So what incentive do they have to make a fair offer in those types of instances? So the way you should look at it is carrots and sticks. To have an optimal negotiation, you have to have both the carrot of resolving the matter amicably, potentially keeping you as a customer. Those are carrots that can be provided to the manufacturer. But you also got to have the stick. And the stick is, hey, if you're not fair to our client, you're going to get sued. And then it's going to cost you a lot of money to defend this type of lawsuit. And then you're going to have to pay out more or still give our clients what they want. So you may as well do it out of court while it's cheaper for you, while you're not going to have to incur all these extra expenses. Because these companies, unfortunately, oftentimes it's a numbers game for them. They don't look at keeping the relationship with the consumer. I mean, some companies do, but a lot of them don't. A lot of them just look at it as lemon law and breach of warranty matters. That's a cost that they have. And like most companies, they want to keep their costs as low as possible. So you need that stick. You need that stick saying like, hey, this is going to cost you way more if you're not fair to our client. And if you don't have that stick, like I said, less likely that they'll make a fair offer. Here's another way to understand this. Think about a trained boxer or a trained mixed martial artist fighter. They oftentimes don't have to fight. Why is that? And I'm not talking about don't have to fight professionally. Of course, they're professional fighters. That's what they do. But I'm talking about in their day-to-day lives. Why don't they have to fight? Because people can sense that they can fight. You can see it on somebody's face, on their body language, on their demeanor. And the bully is not going to mess with the boxer or MMA fighter who will fight them and probably beat them up. It's the same exact thing here. These companies are not going to fight against a firm that's defeated them in court numerous times, by the way, and has a winning record they don't want to do that because they're looking at the law averages and they don't want to have to pay a bunch of extra money for attorney's fees, which is what can happen in court. Because not only will they have to pay your attorney's fees if they lose, what they'll also have to do is they're paying a defense attorney. And that's the other thing. Out of court, typically it's their internal attorneys or some type of representatives that handle the matter. These are typically salaried employees. In court, that's a different matter. These companies are having to pay attorneys who are pretty expensive to defend their case. So they're really only going to do that against a firm that they know will litigate against them if they really strongly believe that they have some kind of defense, or if maybe you're taking an unreasonable settlement position and not willing to compromise with them. But other than that, typically they will settle. And that's why 95% of our cases settle out of court. That percentage wouldn't be that high if they weren't concerned about the 5% of the time that they do get sued where they end up losing the vast majority of the time. So that's why you should always ask a lemon law firm or attorney if they're actually willing to litigate, if they're actually willing to fight for you, if the company rejects the case, if the company gives you a low offer. Now, keep in mind though, you have to be reasonable too, because no law firm will be willing to litigate if they have a client who's not willing to compromise whatsoever, or if the client's not willing to compromise, typically that client will have to pay an upfront retainer if they want to fight all the way to trial, which is what it often takes if somebody's not willing to compromise at all. So be open-minded, be willing to compromise. That won't be an issue for you. If you need any more lemon law or breach of warranty information, please visit our website. That is ArizonaLemonLawAdvocates.com, or call us 480-237-2744. And remember, if your car's not up to par, call Amar.